All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Free. I'm Ryan. I'm the pastor and executive director here at Free, and this is Noelle. She's our community director here at Free. So good to be with you all tonight on a night of celebration, which we will say more about in a moment. But to remind you all, this is a community for addicts, loved ones of addicts, and spiritual refugees. And what we do here is break the silence of addiction and create space for healing, recovery, and spiritual connection. And there is one thing we don't do here at Free, and y'all can shout it out, all 4 words, on a count of 3. If you're new with us and you don't know these words, you're going to learn them very quickly.
You're going to learn today.
2, 3.
Don't do shame.
We don't do shame in this community. Yeah, but we do so. Oh, let me first welcome all of our online people tonight, wherever you're joining us from. And hey, tech team, are we on YouTube right now? I don't know if we're on YouTube, but maybe you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube in just a moment because we're going to get that up and running. So good to have you here. We're so glad you're part of this community and really kind of a special night for us. So welcome to you all. And
Welcome.
Noelle, tell us what's happening.
If tonight's your first night here, welcome. Julie, I know it's your first night here, so thank you for being here with us tonight. We have welcome bags right outside this door here. It has a little bit about what we do here at Free Spiritual Community. There is some fresh roasted wagon coffee in these bags, a little bit about what wagon coffee does, and just some free swag. So please get with a home team member and grab one on your way out, and know that we are so grateful for you to be with us tonight. Next up, we have our second Brunch and Stuff event. So it'll be a week from this Sunday. So the brunch, we encourage you all to bring a brunch item next Sunday from 11 to 1. We'll be in the cafe next door. We're teaming up with Chrysalis, The Foundry, Aurora Sober Living, and we will be sacking lunches for the homeless. So all items are going to be provided. All that we ask of you is your presence to build community with us, and then also a brunch item to share. So we'll have some brunch, sack some lunches for the homeless, and then Aurora Sober Living is going to drop those off at Denver Mission. So
What a good day that's going to be.
It'll be a great day, yeah, awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, so please join us next Sunday. Our book study just closed a couple weeks ago, but we have a brand new small group starting if you're looking for something else. On Thursday night, starting November 30th, we will be having our Advent series. This was hugely popular last year. You and Carrie ran it. Hope, Peace, Joy, and Love, a 4-week series, so 4 small groups, 4 consecutive Thursdays, starting
and
November 30th.
they were quiet nights, just kind of reflective evenings, and if you're a bit fuzzy on what is Advent, it's just the 4 weeks leading up to Christmas, so a good time to start reflecting.
Yep. So this group will be meeting in the prayer and meditation room starting November 30th from 6 to 7. You don't need to come prepared with anything. Just bring yourselves, and Carrie and Ryan are going to lead a very intuitive 4-week small group for us. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Noelle.
You're so welcome.
Thank you for being here. Okay, here's what y'all really need to know, though. That was very important, but this is very, very important. Here's why we're celebrating tonight. Because you know that we have been doing a capital campaign for the last few months. I think this has been going 4 months now. It's we are purchasing this building. Yeah. So this is going to be our permanent home, and you all just totally blew me away. And I'm talking to you online people too, because I know there are people joining online that have never stepped foot inside of Free, and they gave so generously. You all gave so generously. We raised over $905,000 towards the purchase. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So for us to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts, we are serving homemade pies. Did anyone get pie yet? Some of y'all got 2 or 3. I saw it, don't lie. Homemade pie and Bluebell ice cream right after the service. So partake, indulge, enjoy yourselves. Huge thank you to you all. We will be closing on the purchase of this building sometime in the next couple of weeks, and I will keep you in the loop with that. But man, y'all just came together and just did some incredible things. So again, thank you. It means a lot. Okay, speaking of celebration, I do realize today is Veterans Day. So I just want to recognize some people in our midst. If you have at any point in your life served this country, would you please stand so we could recognize you? Come on now, don't be bashful. Yeah. Thank you for your service. Glad y'all are here. Okay, well, we have, might remember a couple of weeks ago, I told you part 2 was coming about what you all said about recovery. So this is part 2 about what you said about
So,
recovery.
what's one thing recovery's given you in your life?
I would say recovery has given me everything back in my life, including my children, a great career, education, friends, family, everything.
So I walked into the rooms because I didn't want to play the game anymore. I really didn't want to continue the path I was on. And for me, that was exiting stage left. I was kind of planning my demise at that point. I was planning my way out.
I thought we had it fixed. This did it last service, but tech team, do we try it one more time?
So, what's one thing recovery's given you in your life?
I would say recovery has given me everything back in my life, including my children, a great career, education, friends, family, everything.
So I walked into the rooms because I didn't want to play the game anymore. I really didn't want to continue the path I was on. And for me, that was exiting stage left. I was kind of planning my demise at that point. I was planning my way out, which is a pretty hopeless place to be. So through the program and through entering the rooms and gaining community and getting more self-awareness and getting in touch with God, I was able to start putting the pieces back together.
Before recovery, it looked like myself alone in front of a TV, watching Netflix and blacking out drunk day after day after day, coming home from work, getting blackout drunk, waking up the next morning and doing it all again. It looked like loneliness. It looked like despair, isolation.
And what does it look like now?
Now my life is so full, not just this community that I have at Free, my recovery community, but my friendships are thriving. I moved out to Colorado with nothing, and I, so far I've just built a life, and that's all because of recovery.
My faith back. I lost my faith in my drinking completely and lost all faith in any relationship with a higher power. And recovery gave me that back eventually when I learned to figure out that I didn't have to have a church's conception of a higher power. I could have my own. And I found here that I'm welcome to have my own relationship with God, and nobody's telling me what kind of relationship to have with God.
My name's Austin, and I have got over 2 months of sobriety. That has given me more time for myself and for my son.
So I will have 8 months on Monday, and my recovery has given me back my kids, which I'm very happy about, and I actually get to be in their life again and be the mom that they need me to be.
I'm Daniel. I have 2 years, 7 months, and to me, sobriety gave back clarity, clarity in the way I relate to God, the way I pray, the way I talk to my wife and my son, clarity of what I'm doing in my daily actions, like what do I do next, what's good for me, what's not good for me, what to eat, how to work, how to play. Seriously, my life is so rich, and I don't have a ton of money, but I have everything that I need because I have sobriety, I have a relationship with my maker, and that's really all I need.
You all continue to prove that recovery, new life, is so possible, and all the things that have been restored. I mean, it's just so cool to celebrate that in this community, and that you guys can get so open and vulnerable with that. So thank you for being a part of that, and we'll keep that stuff going. So keep on coming back, as they say. If you're new with us, I want to let you know that we start every Saturday night with celebrations. We lift up the good. We start with the good. We don't ignore the hard stuff. We just save it for the end. So we start with celebrating, and it's a really important part of our time together. Something profound happens when we lift up the good together as a community, that God joins with us in the celebrations. So we take 3 minutes for this. If you're celebrating maybe a sobriety anniversary or a birthday, or the things that come new in recovery, new babies, new jobs, new homes, whatever the new thing is, we want to celebrate it with you. If you're online, just drop your comments in the YouTube comments or Facebook, wherever you're joining us from. And if you're in the house, just slip up your hand. And Darren will pass around a mic. And where's Levon? Levon is with us tonight. He'll pass around the other mic. So let's take 3. This time is yours.
Hi, my name's Grant, and I'm celebrating 52 days of sobriety today.
Way to go, Grant. Proud of you, dude.
My name is Tyler, and today I have 30 days in recovery, and I can honestly say that I am enough.
All right, Tyler. That's beautiful, man. Happy 30.
My name is Melanie. I have 6 months of sobriety, and tomorrow I'm getting baptized.
All right, Melanie, 6 months and baptism. So glad you're here. Thank you for celebrating with us.
My name is Mark, and I have 30 days clean and sober today.
All right, Mark, good to have you here, dude. Congratulations.
My name is Jerome. I'm celebrating my 38th birthday today, and I've been sober all of my 30s.
All right, happy birthday, young man.
Hi, I'm Carrie, and I'm celebrating. Sorry.
That's all right. Tears are good.
I'm celebrating kicking cancer's ass.
Kicking cancer's ass. So glad you're here. Anyone else? We have like a minute left.
Yeah, my name's Ron, and I've been coming here for a while, and just on the 9th, I celebrated 27 years clean and sober.
All right, Ron, that's a long time, dude. Congratulations.
I am Reese, and I started my addiction counseling classes next week, and I'm 68 days sober.
All right, Reese, congratulations, man. That's a big deal.
My name's Kate, and today I'm celebrating my 33 days sober.
33 days sober. All right, Kate. Levon, you got someone right in the middle here.
My name is Tabitha, and I'm celebrating 200 days sober today.
Way to go, Tabitha. All right, we got one more.
My name's Patty, and I'm celebrating 600 days sober.
Way to go, Patty. Congratulations. Oh, we got one more. Let's keep it going.
I'm Trisha. I just wanted to say that I'm very excited that Levon is celebrating his 11-month of sobriety.
Come on, Levon. We've seen this guy's life transform. Thank you, Mike Passers. I mean, it might have been the best mic passing I've ever seen here at Free. Y'all killed it. Now Tammy Kennedy is joining me up here to celebrate with our online people.
Good evening, guys. Man, it's been a fun night.
Yeah, is that on?
Huh? Yeah.
Check. Okay, good. Yeah, it's been crazy out there, hasn't it?
It's been.
I mean, we had a packed house tonight celebrating at the 5, and now here. By the way, if more people are standing, there's live streams in a cafe if you need that cafe space. Just a heads up.
There you go. But don't eat all the pie if you go out there.
Yeah, please save me a piece. I haven't had a piece yet. I've just been salivating at the mouth. Okay, you want to take the first one?
I will. Monica says, I made it 7 months drug-free on Tuesday this week. Way to go, Monica.
Way to go, Monica. John Wagner says, want to celebrate every member of Free for showing up for each other. And John was with us from the very beginning, now joining online from out of state. John, we will celebrate that with you, every member of Free.
Angela says, celebrating the impending arrival of my new grandson, Silas. His
All
mother is
right.
8 months sober for him. That's cool.
All right, that's good news. Alex says, hey guys, I want to celebrate coming up on a year free from vaping and smoking cigarettes and a year and 3 months off everything
Awesome,
else. Way to go,
Alex.
Alex. Congratulations.
Hey, Gina, she says, I have accepted a new position beginning December 11th, 2024. Should be a year of, 2024 should be a year of tremendous growth. Yeah, you've had a lot going on this year, so
Yeah,
we'll
it has
celebrate
been,
that.
but we're going to
friend.
celebrate that one. Jen says, it has been a really rough couple of months. Jen, we've been praying for you this week, by the way. My mom, who lives with us, has been in and out of the hospital, congestive heart failure and anemia. Mom was released from hospital today after another week stay. Prayers for continued healing.
Yeah.
We're going to keep the prayers coming, Jen, and we'll celebrate life with you.
Love you guys. I was hoping that I got this one.
Kai's not, is she not here tonight?
No, she's not.
She celebrates every week with us.
Yep. She says celebrating 8 months free of fentanyl. Missing you guys. Have a piece of pie. We'll have 8, Kai.
Yeah, 8 pieces, all for me. And you know what I love Kai said last week? She says, and she told me this before, I said, you got to share that with people. She says, hey, I hope you don't mind that I share every single week how many days clean I am on fentanyl. I said, I love it, keep doing it. She says, one of the reasons I do that is because it helps hold me accountable. Yes. And that's what communities do. And so I tell her every single week, you got to celebrate that with us. So
Yeah, we love you, Kai.
yeah. Okay, thank you, Tammy Canaday. All right, y'all, we are, we are in the second week of this series called On Edge, Living with the Weight of the World. Here's a video. You know, it was one of the first 12-step meetings that I attended, and I was sitting in a room full of people of whom I did not know, and I was asked to introduce myself. So I started with saying, I'm Ryan, and I'm an alcoholic, and then I shared some of my story of not being able to put down the drink. And I'll never forget what happened when I got done sharing. There was an old guy sitting next to me, and he leaned in and he whispered to me, welcome home. I'm glad you're here. Now, I try to be a pretty polite person, and so I whispered back to him, thank you. But really what I was thinking inside is, dude, welcome home. You're glad I'm here? Because I ain't glad I'm here. Man, I got a 2.5-year-old baby girl at home. I've got another one on the way, and I am scared to death of being a father. And my wife is at home, 9 months pregnant. And to be honest with you, I don't know how to be a husband. And I cannot figure out how to wake up every day and not hate myself. I cannot figure out what to do with all the pain and anger that's been stored in here for so long. And for the life of me, I cannot figure out how to leave the church parking lot where I was serving as a pastor and turn right to go home instead of turning left to go to the liquor store. But you're glad I'm here. Man, y'all, I was so on edge, and yet the words he spoke to me that day, welcome home, I'm glad you're here, somehow they created the space for me to breathe again. Amen. And you know, I've been thinking, especially this week, why is it? Why over these past 5 years since we started free, why is it that so many people, so many of y'all have walked in and your first thing is, man, it feels like I'm at home. And this place, it just feels like home. I mean, why is that? And y'all, it's more than just about physical space, because we heard this in the backyard 5 years ago when we started with like 10 people in the backyard. We heard it at the old location in Greenwood Village when people would walk in. And when people walk in here, y'all say the same thing. Man, it feels like home. You know, we were talking about when we were starting this capital campaign to raise the funds to purchase this building so that we could have a permanent home, permanence in the community, which is happening. We'll be closing in the next couple of weeks. But we were talking, what are we going to call this thing? And it was Lance Willoughby on our board of directors who said, hey, what if we call it the Home at Last campaign? But still, what is it about home? I mean, what does home mean to you? The spiritual teacher Ram Dass said that we're all just walking each other home. And I have to be honest with you all, I read these words actually several years ago, and they struck me, they stuck with me so much so I took out my phone and I put it in my notes section, and I have hundreds of notes in my phone that I refer to often. But the thing is, I couldn't exactly tell you why this quote, why these words struck me. Why did they resonate with me so deeply? And I had to do the inner work to figure that out this week because I wanted to use it as our theme. Why do these words resonate with me? And some of you know when Ram Dass was talking about this, he was talking about it in the context of death and dying and being present with others through that process and through that moment. But as I was reflecting this week, I thought, man, this speaks to way broader happenings than just death and dying. It's like captures the whole thing. I mean, we're all just walking each other home. I think it speaks to all the moments where you feel on edge, like you're living with the weight of the world. I think it speaks to all the times you feel isolated and alone and you're wandering aimlessly through the forest. I think it actually speaks to that very simple yet profound reminder to see the divine in everyone you encounter, to show kindness to everyone because you never know what that other person is going through. Do you know on Wednesday of this week, Tammy, my wife, was off doing yoga with a group of ladies, and so I was at home, had all 4 kids, and it was just one of those days where, man, I didn't want to cook dinner for the 4 kids. So sometimes we have to bribe our kids. Parents, don't act like we don't do this. We do this sometimes when we have to, in desperate measures. And so I said, listen, kids, if you get the house cleaned up, I will take you to dinner at Red Robin. Bottomless French fries, come on. Now, y'all, a miracle happened in our household because in about 30 minutes, the house was completely spotless and shiny. So we get in a car. We go up to Red Robin, have our bottomless French fries and burgers, and then we go back home. And immediately upon walking through the door of our house, Selah, our 13-year-old daughter, our oldest daughter, she says, Papi, can I have your laptop? I was like, why do you need my laptop? She said, Papi, I've just been thinking about my 3rd grade teacher all day, and I would like to write her an email. I'm like, baby, you are in the 7th grade. Why are we emailing our 3rd grade teacher? You haven't seen her in a really long time. I didn't care. I gave her the laptop. She apparently wrote an email, closed it, put it back. I didn't think anything of it. Until Tammy was on her way home, and she called me. And she says, hey, did Selah write an email to her 3rd grade teacher? And I was like, oh, crap. What'd she say? I didn't read it. What happened? And she said, no. That teacher just reached out to me. And that teacher said, oh, my goodness, you'll never believe what kind of day I've had. It's been the most challenging day. It was one of those days where I almost gave up, and your daughter's email saved me. You see, you never know what they're going through. And so I yelled down to the basement, Selah, can you come upstairs and show me this email? She comes upstairs and shows me the email, and here's what she wrote to her 3rd grade teacher. You probably weren't expecting an email from me. I just wanted to let you know I've been thinking about you a lot lately. You always were my favorite teacher, and you still are. I just feel like no one can be as special as you. Me and Shiloh, that's her sister, talk about all the good memories we had with you and how no one compares to how you made us feel, a very important word. You made us feel special, like we actually belong. So thank you for having such an impact on us. I know it's not just us, and many other kids feel very special because of you. And I asked her, I said, baby, did you know like what she was going through? She said, no, I was just thinking about her and thought I'd send her an email. But it's a reminder, y'all, never withhold your praise to other people. Never withhold your kindness towards them because you never know what they're going through. And we're all just walking each other home. And those words, that quote, they invoke a sense of unconditional love and belonging and not doing it alone. Now, see, home is where you can be loved and where you can belong. And I do get it, especially in this community. Some of y'all, you look back at your childhood home and you say, man, that wasn't home. That was a place filled with fear and chaos and trauma and survival mode, and it was every person for themselves. Man, that wasn't home. I get it. And here's the thing, even if you don't have that childhood ideal home to look back on, there's a innate sense in all of us that longs for home. And if you're sitting here and you're saying, man, it's hard to put into words. It's hard to describe it. I can't articulate it. Yeah, I get that. Because home is something to be experienced. You oftentimes can't just describe it in words. You have to experience it. Do you remember the film The Wizard of Oz? Dorothy knew she had to get back home, and it wasn't until she got back home that she actually saw how much home mattered. Remember, she's clicking together her ruby red slippers, and then it cuts to the black and white scene, and she's back at home, and she's lying in bed. She's surrounded by love and care and comfort. And do you remember what she said? There's no place like home. You see, when we talk about home, I think we're talking about a sense of return. It's the place of return when everything within you and around you is crumbling. It's the place where you can simply be. And I think returning home can be captured in one ancient Hebrew word. And some of y'all might remember this word. I want you to say it with me, teshuvah. Yeah, say it again. Actually, say it like you mean it. Teshuvah. Teshuvah is an ancient Hebrew word that literally means to turn, or more specifically, to return. And it begins with an affirmation of your fundamental goodness, that you bear the image of the divine. Before anything else is ever said about you, you are blessed. Before anything else is ever said about you, you belong. You see, teshuvah, it's the idea that you're born on a path, but then you can wander off that path. And teshuvah is that moment where you realize just how far off the path you've wandered. For those of you in recovery, think about some of the bottoms you hit in your active addiction. Yeah, do you remember it? Remember some of the things you did? Some of the things you said? Some of the people you hurt? Some of the people that you love most? Yet, do you remember how far off the path you wandered? And see, teshuvah, it's that moment where we realize we need to return to our path, our true path, the who you are path, the path that leads home. And this word is so fascinating because it's scattered. If you ever read the Old Testament of the Scriptures, or what's called the Hebrew Bible, you'll see this word everywhere now that we pointed out. Like the Israelites, they're always being told teshuvah. Return to your path. Remember who you are. Remember everything that God has done to you. Remember to come home. Return to your path. Or like the psalmist says in Psalm 34, it keeps it really simple. Turn teshuvah from evil and do good. You see, I love teshuvah because it gives us the name. It gives us the words for that experience of realizing you need to return to the path. And I love teshuvah because, see, teshuvah takes seriously our goodness, but it also takes seriously our ability to stray, to create harm, to wander off the path. Now, teshuvah, the starting place is good. See, in fact, the root word of teshuvah is the word tov. Anyone know what tov means? Good, it's on the screen. Literally, it means good. Some of y'all might remember in Genesis, there's an early creation poem. Very fascinating. This poem describes God creating everything in 6 days and resting on the seventh. On the first day after creation, God stands back and says, dang, this is tov. This is good. Says the same thing after day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6. After day 6, humans are created, and God stands back, and God doesn't just say, this is good. God says, whoa, whoa, whoa. No. This, you are very tov. You are very supremely good. You see, the starting point is good. We start on a good path, and then we can wander to another path. Is it true? And early in recovery, I got the same message all the time. People would say, you're a good dude. You are worthy of recovery. You're worthy of belonging. We'll love you until you can love yourself. And you've strayed. You made a great mess of things. We have some wreckage of your past to clear up, but you can always come home. You see, Teshuvah frees you up to make things right. It frees you up to know who you are. And one other really interesting piece about this word Teshuvah, by the time you get into the New Testament, the time and world of Jesus, this word Teshuvah gets translated as the word repent or repentance. And some of you are like, oh, why we got to go there? Why we got to talk about repentance? I know this religious stuff. Yeah, it buckles you up inside because you have some religious baggage with it. Why? Because it was always used to beat you up. Being told to repent, it was always used to tell you how bad you were, how unworthy you were. It actually put more shame on you. It did not do shame, it did more shame. But you have to remember, Jesus was a Jewish rabbi, so he's deeply rooted in these ancient Hebrew traditions, deeply rooted in the tradition of Teshuvah. So when Jesus was talking about repentance in the Gospels, it was always a way of saying, don't you see how worthy you are? Don't you see how good you are? You are worthy of coming home. You are worthy of belonging. Teshuvah. It's time to return. You see, if it doesn't have the starting point in the good, then the return just becomes about shame. And y'all, we don't do shame. God doesn't do shame. By the way, it's why we start here every Saturday night with celebrations. It's the announcement of the good news. It's the announcement of the return. It's the announcement of things being restored. But see, Teshuvah will always ask you some of the most important questions. Questions like, do you trust that you are loved? Do you trust that you belong? Do you trust that you are worthy of returning home? And see, my brothers and sisters, not only are you worthy of home, I would remind you, home needs you. You know, there's this fascinating story in Luke's gospel, Luke chapter 8. It's about Jesus healing this man who was fighting some demons. And the story starts with Jesus is on a boat and he's going to the other side of the lake with his friends. And the text says that he steps off of the boat, and immediately upon stepping off of this boat onto land, he's met by this man who is fighting demons. Some of y'all will absolutely dig this because you're going to see yourself in it. The text describes this man as being naked, out of control, and living among the dead. How many of you that precisely describes you in active addiction? Naked, out of control, living among the dead. Yeah, remember that time you thought it was a good idea to go streaking at 2 o'clock in the morning in the neighborhood and you don't know why you were put in handcuffs? Yeah, naked, out of control, living among the dead. Now, the story proceeds and this man experiences healing. And it's this really odd story filled with humor because the demons, they leave this man alone, but then they go after the pigs, so much so the pigs are now jumping in the lake and they're drowning themselves. And all the people in the town, they run in to see what's happening. And guess what they see? They see this man who was once described as naked and out of control. He's sitting next to Jesus, and the text describes his healing in 2 ways. Clothed and in his right mind. You see, my brothers and sisters, if you are a person in recovery and you're here tonight, you have been given a tremendous gift. You are today clothed and in your right mind, but do be reminded the gift is never just about you. You see, the story ends with Jesus' work is done there. So he gets back in the boat, and immediately after stepping onto the boat, this man who just received tremendous healing, he starts begging Jesus, Jesus, can I please go with you? Can I just get in a boat with you? And it makes sense to me, right? I mean, he just experienced tremendous amounts of healing. His life has been changed, and he wants to stay in that moment. He wants to capture that moment. How many times in our lives do we experience healing and we want to stay exactly in that moment? We want to capture it. We want to live forever in that moment where it's comfy and cozy. Is it true? But Jesus sent him away saying, return home. He just teshuvah the story, didn't he? Teshuvah, home, and tell the story of what God has done for you. In other words, don't just teshuvah for your sake. Return for them too, because see, they need your story. They need to know that healing is possible. Home actually needs you. Because see, we're all just walking each other home. Home needs you. I would remind you that free needs you. But see, it's got to be more than just a place where you come to experience those comfy, cozy feelings. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. The feelings are important. Creating those feelings in other people are important. My daughter reminded me of that this week. Create those feelings. In fact, I hope when you walk through the doors here at Free, every single time, no matter your past or how checkered your present is, no matter your race, your ethnicity, your sexual orientation, I hope you always feel this sense of being worthy of love and belonging. I hope every time you come through these doors, you hear the message that God created you, and what God created is good. What God created is very good, and God never gives up on the good. I hope that creates for you a sense of healing. But see, don't ever let home just become about you. Don't ever let yourself get so on edge or your world so small that you forget about all the others and what they're going through. Because, see, we're all just walking each other home, and that means you play a very active role in this journey. And I want to say to you, if you're new here, maybe you're new in recovery. Maybe you're still battling addiction. To you I say, welcome home. I'm glad you're here. And if you're new here, and maybe you're running on empty and you're watching someone you love battle this brutal disease of addiction, and maybe you're new in your own recovery of being addicted to the addict in your life, to you I say, welcome home. Glad you're here. And maybe you're new here and you know exactly what it's like to be kicked around by religion. You've been told by a religious group or maybe even religious leaders all the reasons why you are unworthy of love and belonging. And maybe even it's your first time tonight and it took everything for you to come in through these doors. Or maybe you've been coming for a few weeks and it took everything for you to come through these doors, and you sat down all buckled up and you were totally prepared to stand up and walk out if things went awry. And it's okay. To you I say, welcome home. I'm glad you're here. And I'll close with this. There's an old fable that's been told and retold. A man found himself wandering in the forest for several days. And he felt totally alone, felt totally isolated, like there was no way out, felt like there was no way forward. And finally he catches a glimpse of another wanderer passing by. And he shouts out, he says, "Friend, will you please show me the way out of the forest?" And this other wanderer responds, "Friend, I too am lost. And I can only tell you this, the ways I have tried lead nowhere. They have only led me astray. But give me your hand, and we'll search for the way out together. And so it is with us. When we go about it alone, we wander aimlessly through the forest. But when we join hands, we find the way out together. Why? Because we're all just walking each other home. So my friend Shannon Melcher is joining me up here on the stage. Shannon was our guest storyteller last week, remember? Yeah, powerful stuff. She was also here on Thursday night for our sober open mic night, and she started singing, totally killed it. Afterwards, I said, Shannon, I had no clue you could sing like that. Even though your mom told me she could sing like that. I had no clue you could sing like that. I said, would you ever join us on a Saturday night and sing? And she says, yeah, any Saturday. I said, what about this Saturday? She said, perfect. Kind of like that. So Shannon's going to sing a song about coming home and being held. Thank you for being here, Shannon. Take a moment, reflect, and listen.
Testing sound. When the best is barely breathing, when I'm not somebody I believe in, hold on to me. When I miss the light, the night is stolen. When I'm slamming all the doors you've opened, hold on to me. Hold on to me. And hold on to me when it's too dark to see you. When I am sure I have reached the end. Hold on to me when I forget to need you. When I let go, hold me again. When I don't feel like I'm worth defending. When I am tired of all my pretending. Hold on to me. When I start to break in desperation, underneath the weight of expectation, oh, hold on to me. Hold on to me. And hold on to me when it's too dark to see you. When I am sure I have reached the end. Hold on to me when I forget I need you. Hold on to me. Hold on me again. And I could rest here in your arms forever. 'Cause I know nobody loves me better. So hold on to me. Hold on to me.
Thank you, Shannon. What a gift. Thank you for sharing your gift with us on less than 48 hours notice. We'll do it again sometime. Thank you for being here. All right, y'all, every Saturday night here at Free, we have a guest storyteller join me up in the living room. I can't wait for y'all to meet my boy Conor, who's here tonight. And let me say a few words about Conor Schroeder before he joins me up here. Conor is 17 years old, and Conor just celebrated a year clean and sober. Yeah, let's hear it for Conor. I'll also tell you, this is that sounds so old saying this. This is a young man. This is a young man who, just a few weeks ago, talk about wisdom. He calls me a few weeks ago and says, hey, Ryan, I'm just wondering if you could give me like relationship advice. I really want to treat women with respect and kindness, and I just need some advice. And I'm like, dude, just by asking that question alone, you are far ahead of the game. Like, you are on the right path of return to Teshuva. That's what the whole thing's about. Conor's going to come share with us about recovery and coming home. So help me welcome Conor Schroeder up into the living room. Welcome back, buddy. So what do you think, man? Are the 5 o'clock people or the 7 o'clock people more scary?
I feel like the 5 o'clock people were a bit more scary.
Yeah, these people ain't scary at all. Yeah. I mean, look at them. Beautiful, hot messes we are. Yeah. All right, Conor, we're going to jump right into your story. Is your mic on?
Hello?
Oh, yeah, it's working.
Yeah.
So Conor got clean and sober October 11th of 2022. You've been sober and, very important to note, in recovery this entire time. And I want them to hear, and all of our online people to hear, dude, what was that like? What was addiction like for you?
Well, I mean, I think at first it was mainly a social thing. You know, I didn't quite realize like the power it could have over me getting high. Because I don't know, I think all of my friends were doing drugs. They were getting high, they were getting drunk, and they all seemed like they were having a lot of fun doing it. And I don't know, I felt like it was a really easy way to make friends as well. So I just kind of started, and it sucked. Like, it was really fun until my whole life kind of fell apart, dude. Like, I don't know, I was failing out of school. I was a junior in high school with freshman credits. I don't even think it was freshman credits, but yeah, and my relationship with my mom was awful. I mean, every time we talked, I felt like we fought, you know? Yeah. I felt like she was my enemy, and she tried to control everything I did. And I didn't really realize what part to play I had in that. And I don't know, I had a warrant out for my arrest. And it felt like every aspect of my life was crumbling.
Yeah.
You know, I woke up every morning hating myself.
I get that, man. I woke up the same way, and when I asked Conor, I said, tell me, man, what, as like a 16, so you got clean and sober at 16?
16, yeah.
Dude, that's just mind-blowing to me. He got clean and sober when many of y'all were just starting. Yeah, it's, I asked him, what did addiction take from you? And without hesitation, he said, dude, everything. It took everything from you. It took yourself. You hated yourself, worn out for the rest. But you described this feeling of feeling alone all the time, but you couldn't see that it was the booze and drugs that were the problem in your loneliness. What does the loneliness feel like?
It's hard to describe, isn't it? I mean, it was just kind of this feeling of like, you could walk into a crowded room and still feel like no one there cared, you know? And I think it was because, you know, when I was drunk, it allowed me to feel like myself in a way.
Yeah.
I was more outgoing and like funny and loud. So when I wasn't drunk, I felt like I wasn't myself. And all of my problems weren't really something I dealt with. I didn't really have like friends that were there for me, you know, because all they did was get drunk too, which, yeah. So I don't know. I think I felt really alone, just because I didn't really have connections to other people.
Yeah.
You know.
And that moment for you kind of continued when you said recovery felt like coming home, and you had this kind of transforming moment literally in your home. And what happened?
Like when I realized recovery was a home?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. It was at the shop at Full Circle where I went, which Full Circle is a recovery program for teens. Actually, I think most of them are here tonight to come out here, so that's cool.
Where's the Full Circle people?
Raise your hand.
Yeah. Glad y'all are here.
Yeah, it's a...
Hold on, before you get to Full Circle, though, I was talking about the literal home, you being home, and you said you were sitting in your room feeling all alone.
Oh, yeah.
And you couldn't stop crying. Like, this was the moment for you where you realized you needed to return.
Yeah, well, that's actually kind of a funny story. I was sitting in my room, and I was high, and I was just kind of thinking about all the life problems I had, and all the stuff that I wasn't really dealing with, and I was just sad. And I started to look around my room, and I kind of realized everything that I actually had. I was looking at like my computer that I could play games on anytime, or dude, I was living in a basement. I had a couch in my room. I had all of that stuff, and it kind of hit me right then and there where I was like, I'm so spoiled, Like, I have a big life set up for me.
Yeah.
And I'm throwing it away because I like getting high. And it just kind of hit me right there. I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore, And I kind of realized, like, I was going to drink myself into an early grave. So I went up into my mom's room, and I was like, I cried in her arms for a bit, and then I was like, Mama, I don't think I can do this anymore. And she was, my mom's kind of a badass. She's in recovery, so she was like, I have a place.
When Mama says, I've got a place, she means business, huh?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
I went to 5280 High School out in Denver. It's a high school for recovery, or for teens in recovery.
Yeah.
It's really cool out there.
Yeah. If you don't know 5280 High School, Google it. Keith Hayes has been here before doing incredible work there. But go ahead, Connor.
Yeah.
5280 High School.
That place changed my life. I didn't immediately consider going there, obviously. Like, I wasn't instantly like, oh, I want to go to a sober school.
Yeah.
But she was like, just check out the Facebook, my mom. And so I looked at it, and I was like, yeah, okay, this place kind of seems weird. And then I was like scrolling through the pictures, and I saw this picture of this girl that I actually got high with. And I was like, oh my goodness, I know her. And I texted her, and I was like, do you go to 5280? And she was like, yeah, changed my life. And I was like, really? Is it cool? She was like, yeah, you should come. And I don't know, I don't think I would have gone if I didn't see that, If I didn't see someone who I saw them where I was at, who was actually happy and like fulfilled while being sober.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you got involved in Full Circle, which you just mentioned. For people who don't know what Full Circle is, what is Full Circle?
So Full Circle is a fellowship of young people and parents who are all kind of in recovery. Like, the teens will be in recovery for, I don't know, any kind of vice of addiction or what's it called? Self-destructive habit that makes part of their life unmanageable, and their parents will come. And we're all there to just kind of teach each other how to be sober and be happy while doing it. We work the 12 steps. It's really cool.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And Connor, you had a moment while you were at Full Circle with a chessboard where you kind of realized you were home. And it was a simple moment. That's why I love them, because they're usually very simple. What was that moment for you?
Okay, so it was after this meeting at Full Circle, and I was just kind of sitting there. I was cleaning, because we have something called cleaner leave, where basically after the meeting and after we hang out for coffee for a couple hours, you go out there and you clean the shop or you leave, and it kind of gives kids an opportunity to be of service, and it's really cool. So I went out there and I was cleaning, and I was with my friend Alex, which he's actually watching the live stream right now. So
Hi,
he's gonna
Alex.
be like, oh. But I was with my friend Alex, and we went up these stairs, and we looked at this chessboard. Because for the first 6 months of being sober, I was obsessed with chess, like nonstop, played it all the time. Because I kind of was just figuring out who I actually was, and I'm a nerd. So
Connor's wicked smart, by the way. I mean, this is why he's attracted to chess. Go ahead.
I like chess. But me and him just kind of looked at each other, and we realized where we were then, because when I first came into group, I was so scared, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to be sober.
Yeah.
But I wanted what I saw in everyone else there so bad, because they seemed free and they seemed happy. So I didn't really know what I was doing, but I wanted that stuff. And when I was in that moment, I realized that I actually had gotten it. And I kind of realized that I felt safe and protected
Yeah.
and supported there, which is what I think a home should be.
Yeah, it's like that moment where you can like breathe easy. You can breathe again. So Connor, here's what you may not know. When you were off, like straying off the path, it was about a year ago, over a year ago now, your mama was calling me and I'm sure other people, and she was like worried sick about you. Her heart was like shattering into a million pieces over you and her love for you. But you told me things with her have been restored and renewed, and you had quite the description of this relationship. Your mom's here tonight because she's here every Saturday night. Kira, will you come sit next to your boy on the couch? And you don't even have to say anything. You don't even have to have a microphone. Oh, you have a mic? Okay. Man, if you want to say something, you can. You come join us up here. So, Connor, what's this relationship? Because I think it's important for people to see, like, the real image of a relationship restored. What's it look like today? What's it mean to you?
You're my best friend, you know? I mean, it kind of was like this transition from every time we talked, we fought, to now I just kind of go into her room and talk about her or talk to her about whatever I'm feeling. And that'll go on for hours, you know? And I'm always supported and loved, and she gives me perspective, and you give me, you know, just love and support. And I didn't ever realize that I could have that from you, you know? Because, I mean, it was always there, but I refused to accept it. And so, yeah, I think it's been this big transition from, like, feeling like you were the enemy to feeling like you're the one person I have in my life who I will always be able to go to no matter how old I get. I don't know. I got the best mom I could ever ask for. So.
Kira, did you ever think your boy would be talking about a spiritual life and what God has done in his life? And
No, this boy was very, very much an atheist.
I know.
And very scientific about it. So it was, you know, I was like, oh, okay, well, just keep working your program.
Connor, what's God meant to you? How do you describe God in your recovery? What role does that play?
I mean, everything that I've ever achieved in my life has been God. You know, it's never been me. Because anything good that's come out of my life has come from me following God's will.
Yeah.
You know, which I think is actually really cool. You know, it kind of takes a lot of the I did it out of it.
Yeah.
It puts me into a more human position. I'm not the one building my life. You know, it's just me following what I think God wants for me.
Man, are y'all taking notes on this? You need to take notes on the tweet that out. Connor, will you tell us? I know we have parents here tonight whose babies, their boys and girls, are battling addiction. We have parents joining us online, and they have babies battling addiction. What do you think is important for parents to know, having teens that are struggling?
There's help. You know, there's so much help. There's many resources out there. I mean, the 12 steps worked for me. You know, if you can get your kid to come to Full Circle Denver, dude, I'll be there to kick it with him. But not only that, but there's also so many other pathways for recovery. There's intensive outpatients, there's outpatients out there. There's so many different places that, you know, all help kids get sober now. You could get a recovery coach. There's so much. And yeah, it's actually insane how much help someone can get. But the other thing I think that is really important to kind of explain to a parent, if I had the chance, was, I don't know, you'll have family members who are getting drunk or who are alcoholics or addicts of any kind. And, you know, one thing you kind of realize over time is that they're never going to get sober unless they want to.
Yeah.
You know, which I think it's the exact same thing with teenagers. You know, it's not like you can force someone into recovery. They have to do it on their own. At least for me, I had to do it on my own. You know, I went through years and years of abusing substances and feeling sad for me to realize that it actually wasn't working out. So the best thing you can do is just encourage it and support and love them along the way, because I think that's what works best. Yeah.
Connor, man, words of wisdom spoken tonight. Just in closing, I got one more question for him. Just in like 20 seconds, how are you helping other people? What do you do to actively help others find the journey home?
Oh, I mean, I just do what was done to me, you know? Or when I first got into Full Circle, I kind of thought everyone was a weirdo because they were like really loud and happy, and I wasn't used to that. So I kind of figured I could get through it all by just like sitting on my phone until I got home. But instead, everyone like started coming up to me and asking me, who I was, where I was from, why I was getting sober, and I felt really cared about. And that was definitely not something I like was used to, especially not on a first impression. And so I try to do the same thing for others because that's what kept me there, So I've gotten the opportunity to sponsor people and be of service to others, and I might be getting into recovery coaching soon. So it's just all been a blessing. 17 years old, sponsoring other people, recovery coaching. Proud of you, Conor. Love you, bro. Conor Schroeder, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you can turn it off. Thanks again, man. So proud of you. Thank you. You're doing it. Yeah, recovery is possible. All right, y'all, the way we close things down here at Free after our guest storyteller, very similar to how we begin. We began with the celebrations. We close with heartaches because what we know is we try to carry around these heavy burdens in life, and then somewhere along the way we find out that we suck at doing it alone. It's why we need community. It's why we have God who hears the cries of the people. So a really important part of our time together, we take 3 minutes. If you have a burden that you are carrying, I invite you to just raise up your hand and give us that burden. If you need prayer, encouragement, some lifting upness, we'll do that. And Darren will pass around a mic, and where's Levon? Levon will pass around the other mic. Just raise up your hand. Again, if you're joining us online, just put it in the online comments on Facebook or YouTube, and we'll heartache with you there. Let's take 3 minutes.
Hi, I'm Bella. My mom is a severe alcoholic, and I'm really scared for her because her kidneys are not doing too well.
All right, prayers for your mom. Battling the disease of alcoholism. Thank you for sharing with us, Bella.
My name's Chris Watson. Today we celebrated my dad's life. He passed away 3 weeks ago. So if you can put out some prayers to my dad who's a veteran, Timothy Patton Watson, and hopefully he's found peace and he's not in pain anymore after a big fight with cancer. So that's all I got. Thanks.
Yeah, prayers for you, brother. Thanks for mentioning that, lifting it up.
My name's Levon. So a few months ago, I lost my sister, and I have a friend who just lost his sister to cancer. So we just pray for both of those lost. Fuck cancer.
Yeah, Levon, I'm glad you're here, dude. Lifting you up, brother. Man, we got all quiet all of a sudden. Come on, my boy Christopher got his hands up. Right in the middle, Darren.
My name is Christopher. I have a friend that I had to cut ties with, but she's struggling with addiction. And the stuff that she's getting is cut with fentanyl. So I just want to pray for her well-being and that she can find the path to get better.
Lifting her up, brother.
God bless her.
So many battling that. Thanks, Christopher.
Today's the 8-year anniversary of losing my friend to gang violence. Just want to pray for all of those who are dealing with that in that world.
Yeah, thanks, Brandon. Lifting him up. Glad you're here. Anyone else? Right?
My name's Ashley, and I've been fighting a terminal illness and won, but now that I'm working, I'm going to lose my insurance, and so the medication that supports organ failure is not going to be covered, and it's $7,000. So I'm going to try to go without that medication. By the will of God, I think that everything should work out.
Prayers for you. Thank you for sharing that with us.
I'm Saviona, and my grandma and my auntie are both battling cancer currently.
All right, so we're lifting up cancer tonight. Pay attention to the things that get mentioned in the community. Beating cancer and still struggling with cancer.
I'm Sean, and after 4 years of being a caretaker for my mother, I had to eulogize her today. And, yeah, I really miss her.
Yeah, prayers for you, brother. Thanks for sharing that with us. You want to join me up here, Levon? Darren, can I steal that mic from you? Levon's going to join me up here for heartaches. You know what I love about Levon? He was in my office a couple weeks ago, and I love, in this community, we get brutally honest. I mean, y'all teach me how to do that. And he said, Pastor, you got to understand, man, me and God, we beefing. We beefing. And I'm like, man, it's so good when, I mean, just to put words to that, to admit that, we beefing. It's okay to beef with God. God can handle it. And so thanks for reminding me that God can handle our beefing. You want to take the first online heartache?
Yeah, I'll take it. Jackie says.
Oh, hold on. We got to turn that on. Oh, it's on. There you go.
Jackie says, I want to pray for my friend who is getting sober. Prayers for Jackie and her friend.
Yeah, we'll lift that up. Sarah says, lost a dear childhood friend to an overdose a few weeks ago. I had known him since he was in his mama's belly. Everyone is devastated, and I know this community understands what that feels like. Indeed, please pray for my mom who had to travel to his funeral alone this weekend. Please pray for his big brother, big sisters, and parents. Everyone is heartbroken. Oh, my goodness, Sarah, we're lifting up that family and you and your mom and everyone who's impacted by this tremendous loss.
Alex says, I'm going to college really soon, and I'm terrified. I'm going to be leaving my family and the full circle community into the unknown, and I'm super scared. Well, prayers for Alex. It'd be all right, man.
You'll be all right. Step into that fear. That was words of wisdom. Thank you, Levon. We'll pray for him, too. Anne Marie says, I need prayers for my mom. She is still in the hospital, and I'm going to see her this week. She is so far away, and we don't know how much time we have left. Anne Marie, holding you in our hearts and our prayers, and thank you for sharing that with us. Prayers for her and you.
Christy says, continue prayers for healing for Jen's mom and brother. Prayers for Jen also, that God restores her strength and gives her rest.
Yeah.
Prayers for Christy and Jen.
All week long we've been praying for them. Thank you, Levon, for joining me up here, bro. Love you, dude. Yeah, I'll take that from you. All right, y'all. Hey, I just need to remind you, one of the ways the mission thrives in this community and across the country of breaking the silence of addiction, creating space for healing, recovery, and spiritual connection is through your generous giving. If you call this place home, if this is your people, your tribe, your community, we encourage generous giving here. And I know many of you have made a spiritual practice of this in your life. Many of you have made this a sacrificial practice of giving in your life. And I will say this, I said it last service, even if you don't give here, I mean, seriously, I mean this. If you don't give here, the holidays are coming. It is a good time to start practicing generosity. You've been given a great gift. Many of you have a lot. Even if it's not giving here, give somewhere. It will change your life and the life of others. It teaches you how to give back the gift that you've been given. We have a giving box here besides Bobby. We have a giving box just outside of these doors. They both say giving on them. And we have 3 online ways to give, digital ways to give. The first way is you can download the app. It's free spiritual community. And you can give there. If you hit the giving button, you can give one time or weekly or monthly, however you want to do it. We're grateful for anything and everything. You can do the exact same thing on the website, freespiritualcommunity.com, or you can text the number on your screen, and it walks you through a simple set of instructions. Your generous giving helps the mission of breaking the silence of addiction thrive, and we are so grateful that so many of you are part of that. Seriously, and I say this, and I mean it, without your giving, we don't exist. So when I say thank you, it is from the bottom of our hearts. So thank you. Shall we go out with a prayer before we go indulge in some pie and ice cream? I know, I can't wait. I invite you to just open your hands. It's a sign of openness for Spirit moving in you and through you and all around you. I invite you to take a big, deep breath. And then exhale that big, deep breath. And be reminded sometimes when God feels distant. I think God is saying, I'm in your breathing. I can't get any closer than that. I'm near. So as you pray, hold on to that. And if you don't know the serenity prayer, we'll pray it together, and it's on your screen, and it goes like this. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. My free brothers and sisters, welcome home. I'm glad you're here. Get some pie and ice cream.